Hello, everyone. I'm Allison, and welcome to my weekly Meltdowns coverage of Survivor 40 Winners at War. Oh, what an episode.
I'm speechless. I mean,
wait, Tyler, wait a second.
What?
Never mind.
What the fuck?
What?
All right, is it time to vote? All right, let's go.
All right.
Tyler.
No, ladies first. Go ahead.
No, it's fine. Go ahead.
All right,
You
so
sure?
time to vote.
Let's just vote.
I was not catching on to that. Oh my God.
I got it, Allison. We're good.
What a crazy episode. I was not expecting all of this strategy, considering we spent like half the episode on Edge of Extinction, but we have a lot to talk about. But first and foremost, Sophie Clark, what a badass. Holds on to her immunity idol after all of that craziness goes down at Tribal. Like, I can't believe it. Like, write this girl the check.
That's
right
big
now.
balls.
Well,
She does.
No, she knew what to do. I guarantee, because she said, let's go over here and talk over here. And what she definitely said was, Sarah, you're going to play the steal of votes. We have a 4-2 advantage. And she knew that Kim had an idol because Kim shared it with her earlier. So if Kim had shared the idol and put it on Tyson, then Sophie would have played her idol. But she knew if the idol didn't get played on Tyson, then there was no reason to play her idol.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
We've already got somebody. Hold on, Bill. Bill filled in for me last week. Thank you, Bill. Such terrible gameplay. I'm disgusted. What?
It wasn't terrible gameplay. I mean, it was good gameplay.
It was excellent gameplay.
It was entertaining. I think it was a little sloppy, but we'll get to all of it. Do we want to start first with the big family visit, and then we can get into all of the craziness at Tribal and everything? Because we have a lot to talk about from that. But first of all, Allison, how are you doing? How's the move going? Are you live?
I guess gonna get on my soapbox for a minute. Okay.
Go ahead.
For 1 minute. So, sign the papers for my townhouse. Officially no longer mine. I moved out Saturday, but I had to finish everything up today. I've been living with Captain Obvious with our 4 cats.
Woo!
Finley's going on Prozac, but I mean it's been a minute. But it's like getting used to living with someone again. But we're only in his house until he closes on May 3rd. And then we move out May 3rd temporarily into his mom's house for 5 days. And then we close on our new house on May 8th. So I'm like homeless, vagabond, living out of a suitcase with my cats.
We're happy to have you back, Allison. It's always I'm always happy, and I feel so fulfilled when it's the 4 of us here. It feels like the family's reunited again. Speaking of family,
I guess can I just say something? Like,
go ahead.
I've used every emotion in my body that during I just have nothing left, but during those visits, I'm just sitting there stuffing my face with jelly bean starburst.
How did you not cry?
I wept.
I'm a mess. Do
we really want to go there?
Yeah, so this family visit was very Australian Survivor to me. They traditionally bring in the whole families. It's this like huge thing. There's usually no competition. This is the first time Survivor US has done it, and I liked it. I didn't think that like we really need like a reward challenge, and then like some of the family goes home after this like long ass flight. So I'm okay with it. I liked it.
And they brought the people at the Edge of Extinction, their families too, which is...
I was happy they did
that. And thank you, Jared. Yes, this is a full circle moment because that's what the name of the episode was. Full circle.
Yeah. So we can talk about some of the family visits that kind of stood out to us. I don't think we need to like go down the line of everybody. But I want to talk about Sophie for a second, her family visit with her fiance, because the way he like was looking at her the whole time while she was talking, like that is like true love to me.
Yeah.
Like how he just like that sparkle in his eyes, like you can just tell like he just like really really loves this woman, and it just feels like a very good, pure love to me.
I thought Parvati and her husband were just gonna sneak off in the bushes for a quick.
I know, right?
I do blame them. Both of them are beautiful people.
I mean, I
thought they were going to start shagging any minute.
I would watch that.
I'm surprised we didn't get a confessional from John Fincher, because we haven't seen him on Survivor in quite a long time. And it was good to see him again, and he looked pretty good.
Was he Samoa?
He was. I don't talk about something else while I'm looking it up.
I think the one family that really got to me is the Collins family, because as soon as they all realized that their families were coming, Jeremy just dropped to his knees. He just collapsed. He just got me. Like,
yeah, I have to say, Tony's the one that got me. When you see crazy Tony be absolutely brought down to his knees, he couldn't even stand while his family came out to him. He didn't even see his son approach him because he was crying. He was holding his wife, and it was just, I loved watching his son be like, "Can I get in here? Can I get in and hug my dad?"
Being able to witness the power of love is so amazing.
Now, remember, when we have our family visits, when we make it on Survivor.
When Allison comes running on the beach with
Allison's going to be holding
the cat on the leash, with Finley on the leash.
That's going to be losing his shit. It's going to jump Jeff.
I swear to God.
Comes out and is the family visit for me with Finley, I'll be like, Jeremy, can I use your advantage to dip out of this family visit?
Oh, hurtful.
No, I like the idea of like Allison just being like, "Here, you take him," and like throw Finley at you, and just like
a little explosion.
And then and then Probst goes, "Which brings us to the challenge. Whoever can wrangle and tame Finley gets the." And everyone's like, "We're out. We don't need family. We don't."
Yeah, that's a challenge I don't want to participate in. Yeah, of course, Jeremy's visit was super emotional. I of course expected that. The love that he has for Val and his whole family is just like it's so good. Like Jeremy's just such a good guy. Who else? The one that I got teared up at was Adam. I mean, when his dad says like your mother would be so proud, like I got a little choked up, and I'm usually a heartless person, so that really tells you that it's
he's dead inside. Seriously, he's dead inside. And for him to get choked up, that's something.
Yeah.
Can we talk about how beautiful there was a stark difference between A, the music, and B, the editing of how they presented the family visit for those in the game and then those on the edge of extinction.
Yeah.
It was cinematically absolutely beautiful what they did on Edge of Extinction. The close-up of like Ethan and his wife kissing, the close-up of all the family. Some of that was just absolutely gorgeous, and it really showed the desperation for that. They don't have anything on that island, and you gave them everything they needed, and even if it was just for a few minutes. And that's why I absolutely loved it. Was why I was like running down the stair to try to get everything set up. That last moment of the episode after the next week's preview, where the entire jury went over and just gave Probst a huge hug and said, thank you. Like,
that is what's going to keep all of them going for the remainder of this trip. And Beth, I've said this all along, like the cinematography on Edge of Extinction is really, really like, I don't see anybody talking about it on Survivor Reddit or anything like that, but even the way they shoot confessionals is like super uncomfortably close up to their faces for a reason, because it's supposed to feel like raw and uncomfortable. And
that's some high def going on there. Okay.
Yeah, but there was one shot. I'm a photographer, so I geek out about this stuff. There was one shot of Rob and Amber waving goodbye to their kids, like as the boat was leaving, and like her like leaning her head on his shoulder. Like it was just shot so well, and you can see like just the dirt on their face, how tan they are, how just like weathered by the elements they were. But they looked like so much more alive than they ever have been, like in this season, you know. Like I feel like everybody got like a new lease on their Survivor life and a new lease on happiness with this. So
my God,
I liked it.
I would be such an a-hole. I mean, if y'all came running up to me from the beach and I'm all clean, and I'd be like, okay,
That touched me.
That was
I
that
don't
was
need
a funny
that.
moment with Tyson and his daughter and going, "Do I smell?" And she's just like,
stinky.
Yeah.
Oh,
You know what?
I didn't
You're
realize
just so
his,
happy.
yeah,
You don't
his
smell
wife
them.
played Survivor.
"Yeah,
Ew.
in Blood versus Water, Tyson."
Yeah, yeah. Rachel
of
looked
it.
just as good as she did in Blood versus Water.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was very. She wasn't very memorable, Allison. She was like pre-merge, and she just really
She was
didn't
like
want to be
the
there.
second or third person voted out, and that's what gave Tyson. Like Tyson didn't really want to come back for Blood versus Water, but he wanted Rachel to have the experience. And then Rachel got voted out so early that he's like, "Oh no, I'm going to win this now for Rachel."
Yeah.
And he almost took her place because in that season, if your loved one got voted out and they were at Redemption Island, you could switch places. You had the chance when it came to the Redemption Island challenge and take their place if you wanted to and compete and go back to Redemption Island, all that kind of stuff, or be voted out if you lost a challenge. And he almost took her place, but she convinced him not to. And then he used that as fuel for him for the entirety of the season.
So
Yeah.
okay,
Go ahead, Allison.
Yes, go ahead and discuss the
Yeah, so
elephant in the room.
of course, like
Tyson
I
went
like to
on.
like think about like the edit and stuff like that. I always feel that the family visit is very telling
Yeah.
for the family visit. Like a traditional like winner will have like a really gut wrenching, like spending a lot of time. Like after Tyson's family visit, like they spent a lot of time with him talking with his daughter. I was like, this is something to look out for. But it was the red herring this season. It was his swan song, if you will, his Russell Swan song, if you will.
But you never know. There's still an opportunity. He did say to everybody, I'll be, I'll see you shortly or something like that. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Well, the other thing too is the other person who had a killer family visit edit was Adam. Adam had a kind of a redemption moment with that. And is that a clue that does Adam come back? You know, so and
we spent more time with Adam than we did with Rob and Amber, which really surprised me.
No time with Rob and Amber. I was so shocked.
But let's be honest, Rob and Amber have been around for 19 years.
So over it.
I know, but the crazy cat lady casual fans, like they eat the shit up for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
Always have to be crazy cat ladies? Can't they just be weird?
Go on the
dog
Survivor
lovers?
Facebook page and look at all the comments. These are
But
the
you're,
ladies.
but you're talking to 3 cat ladies, and we couldn't give a shit about Rob.
I don't care. Rob was hot 20
We're
years
not
ago.
casuals.
He's still
That's
hot
different.
now.
And
But
we're not casual.
we're
not casuals. That's what I think. Tyler's point was the crazy cat ladies.
If you are hosting a podcast,
casual fans,
right? If you're hosting a podcast about the show, Allison, you are not a casual fan.
there are a lot of people out there, Tyler, who will argue with you over what you just said because obviously we don't watch the show. We just get on here and talk about it.
We don't
true.
watch.
I'm sure we'll see them in the comments, and I'm sure I'll get a message about it.
We just look at the things on Twitter.
Yeah.
Just
We
randomly.
don't know shit.
So Matt says, do you think the Edge visit was telling? Yeah, I agree with Beth that I think Adam had a really good visit. My eye's been on Natalie this whole season as somebody who could return, but I don't think she got a whole lot. And they easily could have given her something since 20 was the first boot of San Juan del Sur. We didn't hear anything from her, but so I don't know. Maybe it's Adam. Or maybe it's Tyson again. Maybe that's why he got so much content tonight. Maybe he could return again. This is still a possibility.
When are they going to do that, though?
Final 6, final 5, or something like that.
But the thing is, it was smart to vote him out now because if he does come back. That means Rob's not coming back.
Yeah.
right?
And you get Rob back at final 6, you're fucked.
Yeah, I mean, if Tyson does come back again, I feel like that's the one way I would justify voting for somebody in the end who was on edge of extinction. If they return not once but twice back into this game, I think that's a hard-earned fight that, quite frankly, not a lot of finalists have in them. So I don't know. I don't.
Was that Nadia or Natalie's baby? Actually, it was Natalie's baby. That's how long she's been on edge of extinction. She has shat a child out. That's how long it's been.
No,
I think
it was Nadia's baby.
Yeah.
Nadia, Natalie's Instagram is full of being an auntie. So, and I think that's why that's why they were saying auntie, but you are talking about twins. So sometimes I think it was hard to figure out who was the one who was talking.
Yeah.
Whose baby is it?
I thought everybody else was kind of standard. Like I thought Denise's was standard. Nick, Michelle's sister Kim, they spent a little time on that, which is weird because it's not as like I don't know, impactful as like kids coming or something.
I honestly felt like the time they spent on everybody was equal. I didn't see anybody get a short version. Like it was pretty equal all the way across. But I think that just the people who had little kids and such, the people who had loved ones that were like they were about to get married to, those kind of things, those had their own special thing. But you also have to look at who are the ones who are talking. Like we all know Sophie is one of the best talkers ever in the history of the show.
Yeah.
That doesn't necessarily mean like, oh, this is a winner's edit. Now, when you combine it with everything else she did in this episode, like that's the winner's edit right there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
We all agree this tribal council was insane. Literally, I bit my thumb and it almost started bleeding. I was so freaking nervous.
I didn't know what was going to happen.
I had no clue.
Show.
I had an idea what was going to happen.
Yeah, I read that.
Everybody.
Yes, I will give Beth credit on air. She messaged us, I think, like 10 minutes before Tribal started, and she was like, I bet you like Advantage Getting happens, and it ends up with Tyson being voted out. So good on Beth. Good job.
Thank you. I don't get points for that, but I do get props, and that's all that matters.
At least he's giving you credit for something. I've been doing this with them for almost 3 years. Ask me how many times I've gotten credit for something.
Well, it's because, as Deb has pointed out on Twitter, Tyler and I are the same.
Count it on one finger.
They are the same exact person. Beth and Tyler are the same exact person. The only difference is Tyler does not have a vagina and Beth doesn't have a penis.
Yes,
They are the same person
You know of, Deb.
confirm
that I
half
know
of
of. That I know of.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lord have mercy.
The only difference is that Tyler has not yet played in a mini and won.
Yes, that is true. Yet. That's no spoiler for anything. There's no plans.
Hold on. We just get to address a couple of comments.
Oh, God, I knew this was coming.
Allison picks a winner. Tyler, no credit. Allison get. You know what? Exactly. Because that's why Tyler. Allison got credit for nothing. She picks last cycle's winner and had 2 of the 3 finalists. No credit. I think you even missed that show. So I don't know.
I last season was all a blur for me. That's as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, God.
Okay, I'll give Allison some credit. You know, if Tony ends up being the winner, I'll say you were right, Allison.
Oh no, you will not only say I was right. You have a hat that you need to go home to get.
You want me to risk COVID?
I want you to risk your life with the coronas that's going around, and I want you to get the poo-poo hat.
All right, that's a deal. That's a deal. So
Or order a new one.
Yeah, exactly. So let's talk about the challenge. I thought it was weird that they gave Tony 2 fire tokens instead of 1. I don't know if that's counting for inflation because of how costly the 50-50 idol was last week.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. Michelle still has that, right?
Yeah, she did. She hasn't used that.
Okay. Yeah. I totally forgot about that and like all the advantages tonight.
I did too. I'm surprised she didn't say anything, because wouldn't it have been great if all of a sudden, like, this is how I had told them it was going to go down. Jeremy leaves. Sarah uses the steal a vote. Kim then uses the idol on herself and say that's the person that they ended up voting for.
Mm-hmm.
Then Sophie says, I got to use my idol, uses on herself, cancels out the votes, revote, Tyson goes. That's what I thought was going to happen. It would have been so great if in the midst of that, Michelle was like, and to add fire, let me flip this coin and see if I get immunity.
Yeah, I think if Michelle thought that the votes were going on somebody else other than Tyson, I think she would have considered it. We have a cat on the microphone right now.
Michelle. This is Phoebe Michelle. This is
Hi,
Finley's
Phoebe.
sister. She's the sweet
Hi,
one.
Phoebe.
Like you can see, she doesn't try to take my face off, but she's listening. She watches Survivor with me.
All right. Let's talk strategy for a second. I think if Michelle, if she thought that, like, I don't know that she has a really great relationship with Tyson is what I'm trying to say. Like, Tyson's like right back in this game. Like, she just spent all of her fire tokens on this advantage. Does she really want to use it on somebody that just returned to the game? You know, if it's anybody that goes out of that group of 5, I think it's okay that Tyson goes, you know, I think Michelle would much rather him go home than Jeremy, than Denise, than Kim.
Absolutely.
So I think that that's like what she was thinking too.
Some people are kind of making it look like Jeremy did a bad thing. Oh, he pieced out on his people. And it's just like, no, I would do the same. You know, it's too many. It's every man for himself. Fuck y'all.
Also, the last tribal he could use that advantage.
Exactly.
I would have
man for himself.
I would have just, even if knowing how dramatic I am, I probably just would have made a big theatrical scene out of it, and no one was voting for you, Allison. Nobody cares. You're a goat. We're Why are you making a big? Here it is, Chef. Here it is.
You would have thrown it across
just
the tribal.
Read it. I'm walking out. I'm leaving. Don't stop me. And everybody's like crickets.
Do we agree with M. Jones? He would have went home if he didn't play it. Do we think that that's true?
I think what would have happened is if he didn't play it, the 5 votes, they wouldn't have used to steal a vote. I think that Sarah would have kept it closer to home. The 5 votes would have gone on Jeremy. And that I think it was pretty obvious that Kim would have used the idol on Jeremy, which means that Sophie likely would have used her idol. So there would have been a revote. And then I would have been interested to see if it went to Rocks or not.
Yeah. And keep in mind, maybe this is the punishment of Kim sharing that she has the idol with Sophie way back when. So, like, Sophie is going into this 5v5 with a lot more information than the other side has. You know, they didn't even know that Sarah had the vote steal, too. So Sophie was armored, ready to battle with all this information that everybody else didn't have. So I think that's ultimately why they prevailed.
I would be checking bags, y'all. Just saying.
Well, let's
Yeah, right.
I was like, is Sophie really going home? I'm like, is she going home? And then Tyson. I'm like, no, we're not doing this again. No, because Tyler's going to gloat.
Well, let's talk about all the chaos that happened at camp. So it starts with like Jeremy wants to break up Sarah and Sophie. So like our question's been answered about like how close are these two? Obviously very close, since like other people are noticing it, pointing it out as like a big threat, a big target in this game. You know, we see all these like side conversations between Sarah and Tony, but we don't hear anybody saying, let's get out between Sarah and Tony, because one of them is like they're a really strong duo together. So good on Sarah and Tony for hiding their relationship to the fact that like it's Sarah and Sophie, not Sarah and Tony that's being targeted here. So, and
even last week, Adam was the one that pointed out Sarah and Ben. So the fact that Sarah and Tony are the ones that are the most under the wraps out of all of her relationships is key. I'm wondering when people will wake up and see that they need to get Sarah out.
Yeah, Sarah's like the common denominator of like all of these like really strong alliances.
Yeah, you get rid of Sarah. And who is Sophie closest with after Sarah, who's still left in the game? Mm-hmm. Who is Ben closest with still left in the game? I would argue that Ben would team up back again with Jeremy and not Tyson. Nick,
Tony?
Yes.
No, Nick. Yeah.
Would, or even Tony, yeah. But I think he's like really gravitating towards the guys. And then it's just...
Yeah, I was just sitting here thinking, Tony, in the preview for next week's episode, he's just randomly running with a red bag. I mean,
Kage on Tony is coming back next week.
I know, and I'm like,
paranoia is sinking in.
Deb, how does that make you feel? Are you excited to see that?
I love that. I love the chaos.
Oh my goodness.
I was explaining to Captain Obvious about my obsession with Tony and how he would bury himself. And I'm like, I would totally do that like Tony does. I would bury myself. And he's like, you would not bury yourself in anything. You won't go outside. You won't.
Who's in the dirt?
Got mud on the tip of your shoe the other day, and I had to carry you into the house. Like, if it's $1 million, I will roll around like a pig in shit. You understand the words out of my mouth?
So Bill asks, he says Cops R Us will end both of their games. Let's talk about their conversation that they had, where there was a little bit of tension between the two of them. You know, Sarah really wanted Kim, and Tony really wanted Tyson, or Jeremy, like one of those two. And Bill is drunk. Hi, Bill. I'm jealous. But
I am too.
But yeah, I didn't. I feel like this is the first time we've seen like a negative aspect of Tony this season. I feel like he was really impatient with Sarah, who was supposed to be his number one ally, right? He's really saying like, you need to calm down. You're way overreacting. You're not listening to me. All these very like you're doing this wrong. You're doing that wrong. Not saying like we need to come to this decision together. What does he do after they split up? He goes to all the guys and says, listen, we're taking out Jeremy, like totally going over Sarah's head and what she wants to do. He basically decides for her. And I think that could come back to bite them.
Tony's in trouble.
Yeah.
He's going to win.
I don't think so.
I think he's in trouble next week.
I mean,
I think it'll be interesting to see what happens.
I think he's going to cause trouble.
I think he will.
You think he will?
Yeah, I think so. I felt like both Sarah and Tony were horrible communicators in that situation. It wasn't just Tony. Like Sarah was defensive before Tony even said anything because he wasn't agreeing, but he then fueled in the fire by like not being a great communicator or conflict mediator in that situation. Yeah. So it was interesting to me, like Sarah's very headstrong, and I think that she thinks of herself as like the social strategic person in that alliance, whereas Tony is just kind of like the go out and go do the stuff and like, you know, be the good social butterfly in this other very different way than Sarah is. So I don't think that she respects him in the strategic sense. And so when he was trying to bring up, because let's be honest, she wanted to get rid of Kim because Kim is in everyone's back pocket. Girl, where?
It's not.
Right.
Where?
Yeah, I didn't understand. I totally forgot Kim was still on the show until the family visit started.
Yeah, that makes me so sad.
I know, it's horrible.
Yeah.
But, I don't know.
Matt says here, I don't think Cops R Us is going to be the downfall. Sarah being too connected is going to be her downfall. So he's leaning towards like the Beth side of things with like Sarah's social game is really going to catch up to her. And that very well could happen. And I think Tony would be willing to let that relationship go if he needed to. Like if it came down to it, if he had to weigh the options and say to himself, like, to advance myself to move further in this game, I need to cut Sarah. I think he would do it.
I think the person who will initiate cutting Sarah is going to be Sophie. Now that the steal vote has been played, Sarah is effectively, she's a great confidant, but now she's played something and she was the face of what Sophie actually did for the game. So now Sophie has to cut her. And I can see Sophie going to Jeremy, Denise, Michelle, and Kim and being with them. Because do you think that Sophie wants to play the rest of her game with Ben or with Tony or whoever? If she has to cut Sarah, and she will probably want to cut Sarah, if not next week, within the next couple of votes, rather than later in the game, she has to play with other people who are a little bit more reliable partners than Ben and Tony.
Allison, what do you think about that? Do you think that Sophie, do you think that would work for her? Do you think that like that group would allow Sophie to come in and be a number with them, or would they say like, no, we're taking you out?
And is she able to switch up like that?
Because they voted for her tonight. She was the one that they put their votes on in that group. So does she have room to go over?
She could go over, attempt to go over, and then they decide if it's between her and someone else, it's going to be her. I mean, you always take that chance, right? When you go over to a team that you haven't been playing with and you try to prove your worth or whatever, you're going to say and do whatever possible for them to keep you and to use you. And that doesn't always work. You will be the expendable one in the group. You will be the one at the bottom of the totem pole.
Yeah.
So that's the risk that she takes.
And she doesn't need to tell them that she has an idol.
That's right. And that is one way to flush out an idol. Does she want to have to use her idol unnecessarily?
Yeah. Or what if she uses that idol as information? You know, like she confides in Denise about like, listen, I have this idol. I'm trusting you with this.
Yeah.
I don't ever tell anyone I have an idol. I swear to God, I will do Jesus on Finley. Everybody, I'm on there. I'm not telling anybody. I don't care.
But isn't that the other reason why Sophie would want to get Sarah out? Is because Sarah's the only person that knows that she has an idol. So wouldn't you want to get rid of the one person who has the most powerful information about you in the game out of the game now that her use, aka her advantage, is out? So here's the thing. We're acting as if these tribal lines, or like where they're at, have been solid the entire time. The people have been changing their group of who they're voting with every week. Yeah. So I think if they stayed with the 4 against 5, it would make sense for the 5 to stick together for one more vote and get one of the 4 out so that they have the numbers to get rid of someone like Sarah. But I don't think that that's how they're seeing this game. Like last week when it was Adam, pretty much everybody came together and voted Adam. The only two that voted Nick were Denise and Sarah. Like Sarah didn't even vote Adam out, you know, like there was just all these different groups and there's so much chaos. I really don't even think it comes down to trust. I think for Sarah, it comes down to trust. And I think it comes down to necessity. And do I need to trust this person for this one vote or not?
That's a really great point. That reminds me of like Survivor Cambodia, like voting blocks instead of like true alliances. And if we're going to see that in a season, it's going to be the all winner season where the gameplay is like totally heightened to a new level that we've never seen before.
I like the way they change it up and they don't stick with consistency. I mean, if they did,
good TV.
Tribal councils be as exciting, like Andrew Gibson was texting me, he's like, oh my God, this is the most amazing trial. And I go, I know, this is crazy. But it's like Sophie, so what you're saying is Sophie needs to cut Sarah.
I think Sophie needs to cut Sarah sooner than later.
I 100% agree, but how do you go about doing that? Because if there's one thing that I have noticed, ain't nobody keeping their damn mouth shut. I'm serious. Nobody. Like, how would you go about? I mean, I don't know. Do you keep?
Does Sarah know that Sophie has the idol?
Yes.
Well,
she shared it with her on the Yara tribe when she found it.
What she could do is go along with everyone to vote out another person, and then you vote for Sarah. And then use the immunity idol on that person that she knows everyone's voting for. I mean,
the thing is that because everybody is jury, that's a little more savage of a move to make. And that would be a loss of a jury vote. So it would be better if she just played it on herself and played innocent and then just just vote against her.
I don't see Sophie as somebody that votes personally, though. I think if anybody on this entire season is going to vote, put feelings aside. Yeah, exactly. I think it's Sophie Clark for sure.
I don't think.
So you think she can make that savage move?
Yeah, I do.
But I don't think Sarah would be that butthurt. I don't think she would take it that personal. Do you?
I think Sarah
it's $2 million.
But then I also think that she would recognize that it was a game move. Like, I don't think that, especially if you do it sooner than later, if you cut her towards the end, that doesn't give her time to get over it and watch the rest of your gameplay.
These winners have got to be getting some kind of stipend for this.
Oh, yeah.
They've got to be getting something. Sure. Oh, we were just going to up it to $2 million because all you idiots are getting $1 million anyway for being here. So we should up it to 2. Just saying.
So let's talk about the tribal council. Once again, I think this whispering's getting way too out of hand.
The whispering?
Like it's to the point now where like they aren't even being answered, or they're not even asking questions at tribal. Like Jeff's just like,
He can get any in.
He might as well like put popcorn in the voting urn to like eat out of, like, while everybody.
Oh wait, Tyler.
What? Go ahead. Ladies first.
Oh, it's just that.
All right, so guys, it's time to.
Yeah, let's talk about that back and forth exchange. I mean, like, is there a rule in place for, like, after a certain point, like, there are no more advantages? Like, does Jeff say, like, 3, 2, 1, that's it? You know what I mean? Like, where does it end? I don't think
I would assume once the person gets up and starts walking to go vote, then it ends.
Yeah. He said that though. He said let's vote. TV. Go ahead, Beth. Sorry.
No, he just wants good TV. So he doesn't care. If people come up to him and go, no, we have a vote. No, I have something, blah, 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 blah. He's going to milk that moment for whatever he can. He's not going to care so much about, well, I said it was time to vote, so therefore it's done. Like, if it's going to create a good TV moment with TV icons, he's going to go for it. Will it inspire a rule in the future? Who knows?
I hope so. It's too much. Too much.
We're going on 3 years of this whispering crap now.
Yeah.
And it's just getting worse.
I mean, Jared says there were 2 questions asked at tribal tonight.
What were they?
That we saw.
One of them was to Nick. One of them was, Nick, last week you said there was nobody, like, scrapping it, and winners at war. It's the lamest war you've ever seen. And what does Nick say? He says, my 2 biggest allies, Yule and Wendell, went back to back. That's your own fault, Nick. That's nobody's fault but your own. You voted them out.
You voted for Yule. Come on. But I also you voted for Yule. But I would also say, like, the whispering is exactly why Jeremy got up and left. If nobody went to talk to Jeremy, if somebody goes and talks to Jeremy, guess who doesn't go? And guess how the vote is different? And who knows? Tyson probably would have gone still.
Yeah.
But
and then someone had the nerve to say that he pieced out.
Yeah.
On his people.
So what? And here's the thing. And as funny as Tony is going, wait, this isn't an idol nullifier, is it?
Oh, I know. He was so worried. Like, he mentioned, like, I don't know, so many times. Like, I love
I don't nullifier, guys.
Chaotic, paranoid Tony is the best Tony. It's the best to watch, the worst to play with, I'm sure, but the best to watch.
Yeah. Next week's going to be grand.
Oh, I can't wait. Like, I'm so excited.
I also think that I'm a little worried that Sophie put herself too visibly in the driver's seat. You know, she's the one that calls it out. She says, let's figure it out, like, after Jeremy's gone. She just legit stands up and she's like, all right, let's us 5 come over here. Let's talk about it.
Cheated out to the jury. Cheated out is a term in theater where you actually where you don't actually talk to the person. You go like this so that you're facing, if the audience is over here, you're facing the audience. And so you have a conversation at an angle. She cheated out to the jury to be like, I'm going to take charge of this situation. Do you see me?
Do you see what I'm doing?
We saw the jury and they were like, wow, like we're impressed with that. Like she's the one like running this shit. Very impressive.
But that might not bode well for her in the long run.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a big target on her, but she has kept her idol. So that's one thumbs up. I just.
But who says Sarah won't snipe her?
I know that's the thing. Like you guys have me like super worried that like Sarah's gonna be the reason that she's gone. You know, like
she could. I mean, you could have her convinced that they're taking out Jeremy. And
shame that like Sophie's played such a good game, and what would suck to me is that like her ultimate downfall is when she's at the Green Tribe telling Sarah that she has the idol. You know, I would never have thought that like pointing to that is like what ends up getting her out, you know?
Well, think about it this way too, okay? I keep bringing this up because it's something that Tyler likes to talk about is edits, right?
Yeah.
Who are the edits or who are the people who are getting a similar edit to what they got when they played? Denise is
not Sophie.
The same. No, Sophie is getting now in the jury a similar edit, which is that she's making all these moves but getting no confessionals. Did we even hear for her in a confessional? Really?
No.
We heard from Sarah. We heard from Tony. We heard from people talking about Sophie but not doing stuff. Denise is getting the same thing that she got before. So there's a variety of things here that you have to look at and go, okay, well, Sophie had like this bomb ass, like we're always going to check in with Sophie in the pre-jury, but it's not happening here. That's what happened in South Pacific. Sophie still won.
Yeah, I mean that's very fair. And especially like when we do have these female winners, they're always like super under the radar. Like they're not as in our face as like the male winners. You know, think about like Tommy, think about Ben, who we just like heard from like their perspective, like literally the entire season.
Or like David from Survivor Australia.
Yes, exactly.
The whole damn show.
Yes, that is a great example. Jesus, that was the David show.
It was the David show.
Yeah. So
and I'm not mad about it.
Right. Why do you guys think that Sarah played her vote steal on Denise? Do you think that was just like, just picking like a wild guess, or
you put the minority vote on that person, and then you say, we're gonna steal this person's vote because it makes the person who has to play an idol, in this case Kim, try to figure out who she has to play it for. And she
so you think that tipped Kim to play her idol on Denise instead of Tyson?
Definitely, because if you're going into that vote, anybody who's even watching this would have thought, okay, so they're either going to vote for Kim or for Tyson. Now, how aware was Kim that she was probably up for elimination? Not so much. So she was probably thinking Tyson. Well, then they steal Denise's vote. Why wouldn't they steal Tyson's vote? Why wouldn't they steal Kim's vote? They stole Denise's, and that seems kind of like a out of
red herring kind of thing. No,
that's a red herring. You say, we're going to do this one, and guess what? Denise got votes because she was the minority vote out of those two vote splits.
Yeah,
brilliant plan.
Well, Kim was standing there before she was just.
I don't blame her. I mean, she's like one of the best Survivor players ever, and she was even still like, what the hell do you do in that situation?
Yeah,
I'm surprised she didn't look at the other people and go, "Who do you guys think?" and just have like an open conversation. Because why not? Why not have a conversation?
I would play it.
I'm not calling anything else out. Why don't you just look at Tyson and Michelle and Denise and go, "Who do you guys think? Let's make a group decision. Who do we think?"
Give me a name. Throw out a name. Go Sequester on them. Give me a name. Somebody give me a name right now.
But Brayden Sequester.
Judd just like pops out of nowhere.
I will say this though. I'm thankful that Kim played it on Denise, not just because obviously Denise was safe, but because if she played it on Tyson, Sophie would have played her idol, and then Denise would have gone home.
Yeah, she would have. And as much as I love Tyson the Apostle, I love you, Tyson, and I'm sad that you're gone. But I am happy that it got used on Denise. I do like Denise.
Yeah, I don't
know why I feel like the Denise ambassador. I'm like, thank you, Allison.
I'm giving you credit. I'm giving you credit, Beth, for bringing a player to my attention, and I now like better. I'm giving you credit.
Thank you, Allison. I love it when you give me credit, and I love that. That's for the credit.
One person I will give credit is Kim, because like, it just takes a lot of balls to not play that idol on yourself, given all of that craziness that went down. Like, I was shouting at the TV. I was like, you better play this on yourself. Like, please just save yourself. I mean, I would rather play the idol wrong and still be there than like not play it and then I end up going home looking like an idiot,
That's a great point. That is a great point, Tyler. If you are not 100% sure, well, you can't be 100% sure, but if you're not like really certain that what you're going to do is save somebody in the situation, you better just play it on yourself and give yourself the credit to like.
Yeah, this alliance like just came together. You already told everybody in that group that you have the idol, so you can't hold on to it for too long anyway. Just use it on yourself and try to ingratiate yourself in the majority next week. You have to still be there to win. So,
do you guys think that now that Kim has played an idol in the merge, that there will be one hidden? And do you think that that's why Tony is running around next week trying to find whoever?
I think Tony knows that there's going to be an idol re-hidden, and that's what's like sparking all of his like Kagi on Tony that's going to come out next week.
He's just running through the forest with that bag like he's on fire.
Oh yeah,
I
I expect there to be a Spy Shack next week. We're going to see Spencer and Wu running after each other next week. They're just going to be like running by.
I need a Survivor buff that I can tuck all my hair into and wear like a tank top. Just be sitting there like, yo, I'm Tony. Yo, I'm Tony, yo.
He's going to be talking llama to Cassie.
Llama?
I talk llama to you.
One thing I actually just thought of is kind of going back to the whole like Sophie, if she would go over with the other 4 who were in the minority now. She started off wanting to play with people who are unconnected, and that's exactly how they described themselves this time, was being the unconnected people out of the whole merged tribe. Is not that they're unconnected in the grand scheme of the survivor world, but they're unconnected in this game. And so if she wants to have that kind of alliance, I mean, that would be more of a route that she would go.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. We'll see what happens next week. Like,
I'm excited.
It's really up in the air. Well, hold on. Let's bring up the brackets and stuff.
I really want to see
them.
What's that?
Oh, go ahead, Deb.
I was going to say I really want to see either Sophie or Sarah snipe each other. One of
Yeah.
I think it's coming. I think it's coming sooner rather than later for sure.
Love it.
So here is Beth and I's bracket. Even after advantage getting, we are still neck and neck.
Oh
like,
my God.
I feel like we could not have like predicted this to be more even.
No, Beth's got more color though, by
She does,
one.
but I think that I have the winner.
Yeah, I mean,
who? Tony?
Yeah, Tony or Sophie or honestly any 4 of them. I think could.
I don't
win.
think Jeremy's winning.
No.
I think he lost major points with the jury tonight.
Yeah.
Including Wendell, who's supposed to be a boy,
which is fucked up.
Which is fucked up. I agree.
Especially considering that nobody spoke to him.
He gave up his vote.
His
No. But
Right.
nobody talked to him.
That's true.
Nobody talked to him.
I feel like we should do a coordinated effort. Ready? Go back under.
Everybody, wait. Go back. 1, 2, 3.
I love that.
Okay, we need to make a GIF out of that.
Yeah, right.
Can we get somebody
But
do that?
I will say just a quick thing about Jeremy is I do think that he doesn't have the best relationship with really anybody left in the game.
Right.
So,
like,
and he also doesn't have a shield. Like, he doesn't have a go-to shield to have someone go up before him. So that's why I think like he could probably be the next vote or in the next couple eliminations. I don't see Michelle or Denise or even Nick being in the next couple votes. Maybe Denise actually, because she did get a couple votes tonight. I don't know. Is Ben going to be in the finals?
Yes.
Oh, God.
Only
Just
to
kill me
spite
now.
Tyler.
I think he's
Only
going to
to
make the final
spite
episode.
Tyler.
I think he's in there till like final 6. In all
Is he
honesty,
going to be the GOAT?
Living for it.
Yeah,
Okay, so there are 9 left. We have top 3, middle 3, bottom 3. Who are your final 3 out of this 9 right
let's
now?
bring up just to make it easier for everybody of like who's still left in the game. Okay, so top 3 to make it to the end. You're asking?
Yeah, who were the final 3 out of this 9? Like, not including anybody from Edge. Let's pretend like they don't do that, even though we know what they are. Who were the final 3 out of this 9?
I'll tell you.
I think it's going to be Tony, Sarah, and Michelle.
I think it's going to be Ben, Tony, and Denise.
Okay.
I think you all know how I am.
I think
I think Michelle's going to be at the end.
Yeah, I think it's going to be Michelle, Sophie, and Tony.
God, what a great final 3 that would be.
But I want it to be Denise, Sophie, and Michelle.
So in contrast now, let's say who we think are the next 3 boots. And I'll start. I think you guys are right. You guys are talking me into Sophie going. I think Kim's going to go. And I think I'm so puzzled about Jeremy, because if Sophie and Sarah do go after one another, Tony needs a new alliance member to pick up. I see all you guys' faces.
I'm like, I'm being your hand as you talk.
No, but seriously though, like think about this. Like if Sarah and Sophie, I can't even talk. Go ahead. Somebody else talk.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Sorry. Go ahead.
On Apple, we're just being the dumbest. So feel free to watch us on YouTube to see.
Yeah. Right. Like that doesn't translate well to podcast.
Because they don't have no idea what the hell we're doing.
Right. But no, seriously, like if you guys are right that Sarah and Sophie are going after one another and one of them's going to go, like say that Sarah goes, like Tony's going to be looking for a new number one ally. And I think that person is Jeremy. He's done all this work with like lions versus hyenas. I think that Tony could definitely pick up Jeremy. So I'm very, very curious to see where Jeremy will go in these
Bear
next.
with me on this. I think Tony could pick up Denise because he talked a lot about what Denise's resume looked like. He liked that she all of a sudden had a play, had a resume, all those different kinds of things. Like I think that he would want to use her as a shield.
I don't see them working well together.
I don't see them working well together. I think that he advocates for the game is, I guess.
Right.
I think Tony and Jeremy can bro down. So I think that
Michelle would be good with them too.
Yeah. He'd be a good equalizer between the two of them. Allison, who do you think are the next three to go?
The next three to go?
Yeah.
Nick, Kim, and Michelle.
I don't think Michelle's going anywhere.
Deb, who do you think are the next three?
Sarah, Nick, and Kim.
I think Sarah, Nick, and Kim as well.
So I think we're all in agreement that Kim is not making it too much further.
And I think that it's safe to say that Ben, Denise are in that middle three for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they're in the next couple of votes, but I would love to see Denise go to the end, but I need something big to happen for her to do that. Other than that, I think will be a casualty in the next couple votes.
There's this like great middle, that actually has the majority if they would like all come together about it. But it's like we said, like this season is very fluid. We have so many people in the chat making their predictions too. I love to see all of that. So thank you guys for chatting about that. Let's lock in our official picks of like who we think is going next week. I will start and I will say Kim goes next week. Allison, what do you think?
Come back to me in a minute.
Deb, what do you think? It sucks. We're getting down to the wire. Like, this is tough. I don't want to see anybody but Ben go.
I also think Kim will go next week, but I would love to see the majority alliance break up. And
I want Sarah to go. I don't know.
Okay, I'm going to say it.
Oh, boy.
Jeremy.
Bite your tongue, girl.
Listen, I'm not happy about it.
I'm not happy about Kim. I could see it, though, Allison. I could see it, Jeremy going next.
And I like Jeremy. I listen, I'm just thinking nobody spoke to him. He freaking sat there.
The thing is, did they not speak to him because they knew he was going to peace out already? Because he did tell people about it.
I don't think they had any clue.
So.
They just didn't talk to him. They were being a bunch of a-holes.
And I don't understand why people would hold that against him.
Well, the in my opinion, the biggest bond that he has right now is Tony, and that's all based on gameplay. It's not based on any kind of like personal connection. And Tony's a cop and Jeremy is a firefighter. Like they could easily have a bond about like serving like other people for a career and having like families that they fight for in their jobs every day. But we haven't seen any of that. We've only seen them say lions and hyenas. We have to stick together. It's a marriage of convenience. Like they're not like really truly connected. I think Tony would let him go if he needed to.
I'm also like, I just don't know how much we're not seeing. I have a feeling that Denise and Jeremy are pretty close too. And I think that Jeremy and Michelle are pretty close.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't see a lot of it. I actually don't think it'll be Jeremy next week. I think his time is soon to come though. And I think it's because he, when you're the bottom person, sometimes you have the most power. And I think he's the bottom person right now. And I think that he'll be able to, he's a socially savvy player. And I think that he'll be able to spur something to get the numbers where he needs them to be. But I think that will also simultaneously be his downfall for an upcoming vote after that.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that about does it. That wraps
I think
it
so
up.
too. Yeah.
Really
Well, what a
think
great
it
episode.
I liked it.
I think that we're gonna have a really exciting end game. I think is what we're gonna have. So.
Oh, speaking of Endgame, can we talk about the press release on the finale and how they're going to play it out?
Oh, I haven't even heard.
Yeah. So the penultimate episode is going to be 2 hours long, and I'm
I think
glad.
it's 3.
The penultimate, the second to last, and I'm glad that they're doing that way because they have the Edge of Extinction, Returnee, and Elimination. So that's going to help not have them like yada yada through really important end game stuff. And then the finale is going to be 3 hours long with a virtual reunion type of thing. So,
but the reunion is 1 hour out of those 3 hours. So the last episode is actually only 2 hours with a 1 hour reunion on top of it.
Are we sure it's a full hour? Because usually like the broadcast is technically 1 hour long, but they usually like go over until like 15 minutes into it or something like that. I don't know.
That's how they described it in the press release, was to have a 2 hour episode with a 1 hour finale or a 1 hour reunion that will be taking place virtually.
I'm fine with that because they're doing the Edge of Extinction challenge returnee in the episode before that. So that's okay with me.
When is the finale?
May 15th, I think.
Or 15th.
Like that.
I think you're right, Deb. I think it's May 15th.
Yeah.
Oh, probably the last day that I have my studio put back to freaking together. It will be the day that the finale.
You're saving it just for that.
I'm saving it to be some improvements too.
Before we sign off, the other big thing we want to talk about is this Friday is the Sequester mini that will be Big Brother USA players versus Big Brother Canada players.
It's going to be amazing.
And tomorrow we're actually going to do a special show, and we're going to bring on Puya, who was the winner of the RHAP mini a couple weeks ago. He'll be joining Tyler, Deb, and myself to do a pregame analysis tomorrow night at 8 o'clock Eastern. We'll have the link available on Twitter for you guys to check out.
Yes. But I can't wait to talk like Big Brother Canada. Like I can't wait to, and I think Puya is also a BB Can watcher. So I can't wait to,
I hope he is.
Yeah. I can't wait to break down like who like all of these amazing players are. And I'm really rooting for Big Brother Canada to take them.
I just want to go out on and say that last year when we were covering Big Brother, we mentioned, why doesn't Ovi come over and play a Sequester mini?
I invited him.
Yeah, and here we are.
I literally invited him.
We are. Yeah, he's playing. I'm excited. So make sure to tune in tomorrow night at 8/7 Central. Subscribe to my weekly Meltdown. You will and click the bell. You'll get a notification when we go live.
Hold on. Just to make it saucy, let's do a winner pick for the Big Brother Sequester mini. While we have you here, Allison.
Okay, who do I think is going to win? Okay, I'm just looking now.
And who's the first boot?
I don't know much. I don't know much about Big Brother Canada, so I'm stepping down for this show because I don't think I'd be able to give the entertaining analysis that you guys will.
Okay.
But if I had to pick the first boot, see, with the twist, you never know. I'm probably gonna say Hamza, just because.
That's my first boot too.
And yeah, Hamza will be first boot. And the winner of the Sequester Mini US versus Canada is going to be James.
That's a good pick.
That's a great pick.
Yeah. Deb, what do you think?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
My first boot would be Kirsten because she's the least connected. And my winner pick would be the one person that is the most social and connected to everybody, which would be Alex.
That's a good pick too.
Great winner.
And Deb's winner pick in her heart is Jesse because of his nipples.
Jesse does have nice nipples. I'm just saying.
Beth, who's your winner pick in first boot?
Okay, so Tyler and I are actually created a draft with Christine from season 3 of Sequester and Jay West, who I know is in the chat from season 3 of Sequester.
Yeah.
And so I think my winner pick is actually going to be Tommy. He's an incredibly social player. People really like him, but he's not a huge strategic threat. So I don't think that people will necessarily go for him right off the bat. So I think that he has like a good, amalgamation of all these skills. And I think my first boot is going to be someone who's a relatively big target. And she's also on my team, but I think Rachel Riley.
All right. And I'll close out by saying I think the first boot, I agree with Allison, it's going to be Hamza. And I think the winner will come from Canada. I think it's going to be Maddie. I think she's going to be under the radar, but she's still well connected. And I don't think she's going to be seen as like a big threat. I think she will go very far. So we will see. Maddie's a huge Big Brother fan too, so she's definitely got the strategic mind for something like Sequester.
Well, I'm excited. Remember to subscribe to my weekly Meltdown and hit the bell. You'll get a notification when we go live, and they will be live tomorrow evening at 8/7 Central. As for me, I'll be back with everybody next Wednesday at 9/8 Central for Survivor episode 11, Winners at War. You can follow us on my weekly Meltdown on Instagram that I need to freaking update like nobody's business. And that's it. You can follow my cat.
And Apple Podcasts.
And Apple Podcasts. Don't forget we're on there. There's a link in the body of this video. And, follow my cat on Twitter. He is on Twitter, actually, but follow him on Instagram at Finley's Insty, FINLEYS_INSTI. I believe he sent you a message, Tyler, a couple of weeks ago that has a red receipt.
I don't know what I honestly don't know what you're talking about, but
I know exactly what I'm talking about.
What's going to happen if I don't respond?
I'm going to toss his ass at you during the family visit on the beach on Survivor, okay?
Hey, that means I make the family visit in Survivor, so I can do worse.
I'm going to make this quick reference. Everyone go to YouTube and look up Pinky the cat.
Oh,
it is a guy trying to capture a wild tabby cat, just trying to put him in a cage to rescue him.
Oh, is that the one where the cat messes him up?
The cat messes him up. Oh my God. It is the greatest thing. It'll remind you of Finley.
I got messed up by a cat yesterday. You can barely see it, but that's a bite.
Oh, no, that's not messed up.
Oh, that's nothing.
That's nothing, girl.
So, what are you trying to do?
We're talking when they call the police. When they call the police, then you can say that you got messed up.
I'm in a full-blown abusive relationship.
She is.
With a cat.
She is. I mean, like, when she goes to the doctor and they, ask her, are you being abused or whatever? Yeah. They always ask you that when you go.
He's next to me on the couch. He goes to lick his paw. I flinch because I don't know what's happening. Okay, anyway. You can find Tyler at Tyler Lyons. Everybody's Twitter's is in the windows.
Right here.
Yeah.
You know where to find us. Yeah.
You know where to find us. Please subscribe to my weekly Meltdown on YouTube. We appreciate it.
All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night.
Wait.